Hey everybody, and thank you for doing your daily signing into the world of video games. Today we're going to be talking about the fact that some PS5s have been spotted in the wild. A few media outlets and media influencers have been getting them, although it only seems like they can only show the box at the moment. More coverage coming soon, pretty sure. There's also some announcements about strategic partnerships with like Travis Scott with Sony to promote the console, which is pretty interesting. While Sony's doing their thing, Microsoft, Phil Spencer kind of teased the fact that you may not even need a console, PC, or a mobile device to actually enjoy the wonders of next generation. And at the same time, we got a little bit more news about the next Gears of War 5 DLC, which they said that they were not going to do any stories, but it looks like they changed their minds based on fan feedback. So let's get started. Alright, but before we get started, remember, I would really appreciate if you're watching this on YouTube to make sure to consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoy. And if you like what you see specifically today, make sure to click a like on the button and also consider not missing any single daily sign-ins by clicking the notification bell. But if you're watching this on, or not watching, but hearing this on podcast services, make sure to leave us a review to let us know what you think of the show. Without further ado, let's get started. Let's talk about those PS5 boxes, shall we? So it looks like Sony was able to finally ship a few PS5s around the globe to some media outlets, media influencers, at least in North America. I know that a few people in Japan had already got their hands on it, but nobody in North America. So now we can see people. The first thing that we saw when we came in, or when I came into Twitter this morning, was so many people, so many media influencers that I actually follow, basically tease the fact that they got their PS5, although they cannot show the actual console just yet, just the fact that they got the box. And I'm pretty sure that's just to handle the shipment issues, because I know a lot of people not a lot of people, but like a few people in the media industry also had problems with their shipment, which meant that some people got it before others. So I'm pretty sure that they're making sure that today is only about showing the box to make sure that they time it with everybody else to make sure that they can basically deal with their shipment situations. But yeah, we can see a few people getting them here, and the fun part is people kind of using objects as scaling devices. As we can see in some of the articles, example from IGN, somebody used a box, a cat box, to show the different scale between a cat and the PS5. And then they use various devices like a PSP, the PlayStation 4 itself, the Nintendo Switch, they obviously the cat, and obviously the most famous object to use there is the banana. Obviously, we already know at this point that the next generation consoles are going to be quite bigger than the current ones, especially the PS5. The Xbox Series X is based on pictures from other influencers, doesn't seem like it's going to be as chunky. It is bigger than the current generation one, but the PS5 does seem substantially taller. So have fun fitting that in your IKEA furniture at home. I'm pretty sure that it's not going to fit on my little desk area where I usually play my PS4, and I have my computer as well. So we'll see how I figure that out. Especially I'm already in a tight space over here. You cannot see it, but it's a space. It's a tiny corner where we all talked about here. One thing that I wanted to bring up though is the fact that there's less than 3 weeks before the PS5 is actually out there in the wild for actual consumers to go in and buy it. Which is it's interesting, because right now it's only when people are getting hands-on with it to give you a little bit of what it feels like to actually play the console, not from Sony themselves, but from people that got the consoles from media outlets and media influencers. Xbox had already shipped their Series X to their own media outlets and media influencers a few weeks back, so they're kind of ahead of the game in that sense, making sure that people know what the next generation offers and people actually getting hands-on with it. It's a little bit weird when we all go in and have just faith in these companies to give us essentially the news, the pieces of information necessary for us to actually go and pre-order this. A lot of the times we just go in and say, oh, this is the next generation. We dive into the hype and say we want one right away. I am certainly jealous. I am jealous that a lot of people got this for sure. I really wanted to try them out. But at the same time, I'm not really buying them at launch at the beginning just because I don't see the big value for my buck just right now. Not necessarily because I don't think I'm gonna get them eventually, because I do think so. It's just I'm gonna wait a little bit longer so I can actually, first of all, finish off my PS4 games library that I haven't actually played yet. Although the PS5 it is backward compatible, but at the same time, I just want to leave out the rest of the games on the PS4 before I make my jump. Especially because Miles Morales, which is the game that I'm very interested in, and also Little Big Planet, because I want to play it with Miss Funny Games for sure. And the fact that they are also coming to the PS4 doesn't really make me want to do that jump just yet. And I have a very good PC that plays a lot of games already. So that's just my own personal take on it. Let me know what console you are planning to get on at launch or later on in the console generation for sure by commenting or just letting us know on the Discord, since you can join us on the Discord community, that's for sure. All of that is on the description below. Next up, there is the fact that Sony kind of showed a little bit. It's official that they partner up with Travis Scott. Previously, we saw that Travis Scott put up a picture of him holding a PS4 or PS5 DualShock and saying that he was going to be playing all night. Well, it looks like they're actually doing this official. They're partnering with him to promote the console generation, which is interesting because nowadays these people have a lot of influence. Gaming has become a lot more mainstream, at least the way that I see it. I know a lot more people are more vocal about being gamers, including celebrities that are not in the video game ecosystem are now being like part-time streamers or sometimes like full-time streamers at the same time that they do their normal job, which is kind of crazy to think about. Even professional sports players do play a lot of the games themselves and play with streamers and that sort of stuff. The crossover is happening at the moment, which is kind of cool to see gaming becoming a little bit more stream and a little bit more accepted by everybody else. But while Sony was doing that, their thing, they were going in and showing all the boxes for the PS5. Then the head of the Xbox, Phil Spencer, kind of hinted at the fact that there may be a streaming stick that you can just use instead of using any of the console, using the Xbox Cloud gaming system. So in an interview with Cherry, sorry, as again, my Spanish accent is just like hitting me hard right here over here. But Phil Spencer kind of said, quote, "I think you're going to see a lower price hardware as part of the ecosystem when you think about streaming sticks and other things that somebody might want to just go plug into their TV and go play via xCloud. You could imagine us even having something that we just include with the Game Pass subscription that gave you an ability to stream xCloud games to your television and buying the controller." So essentially saying like, yeah, you might not even need a new generation console to enjoy the next generation of games. Xbox is really doing a big push for the Xbox Pass, which you can get on both the console PCs and that can run the actual games, or you can use the xCloud, which basically does all the processing on the cloud, and you can play it just like you do with any other streaming device, which is interesting. At the same time, this is very. I like the portability of this. The fact that when I want to go and place these kind of consoles, when I go and visit my parents, or when I go to visit somebody that doesn't have the console itself, then I just go in and try to bring all the cables and everything. It's not really that travel friendly, I would say. Having this ability to just bring a stick and the controller would be kind of cool. And also it will make it more mainstream because now not many people will require the ability to buy a big console. Now they just put it as part of their various subscription services, because that seems to be that there is a subscription for everything. But at the very least, that gives you choice of what you want to subscribe to and what you don't want to subscribe to. Big push from Xbox on this particular sense. There hasn't been a big response from Sony on this particular market segment. So it's kind of cool to see how both companies are approaching this in their own particular way. And just to finish up with a little bit more Xbox, then Gears of War 5 kind of just showed us a little bit of a cool thing where you can actually, if you don't know Dave Batista, he's the actor from all the Guardians of the Galaxy. He is basically I forget the actual character's name, but the great big buff guy. He's also a big wrestler. Many people really wanted him in Gears of War 5. He actually showed up in Gears of War 5 as a playable character, but now you can actually swap him with one of the main characters of that game, which is Marcus Phoenix, the main character of the main trilogy, and that showed up in the next games. It's pretty interesting, and the reason that I say that is because very recently we on the Sony side we saw that on the the Spider-Man Enhanced Edition that comes up with PS5, they actually changed and recasted Peter Parker. Like, it's a completely new actor. They changed the face just to match up more with the bones. What they said is to match the bone structure of the main voice actor, which to me, I don't like, not necessarily just when games do that. I don't like it when movies do that either, when they recast the main character. Just because sometimes you spend so much time, especially on a game, when you spend so much time with a character, you get used to it. I already had a picture associated with Peter Parker on that game. I knew who my Peter Parker was. Now they're kind of changed it, and it just doesn't feel right. Even if it looks more HD or more it's more high fidelity for sure, it's just gonna take me a little while to get used to it. At least with Gears of War now, they give you the ability to swap between the two. So you can keep your normal Marcus Phoenix that you're used to for the longest time, or you can actually just go with Dave Batista if you really enjoy that part too, which I found kind of interesting. And in more news, basically on an interview with IGN, this is by Miranda Sanchez. Essentially, the coalition, which is the developers of Gears of War 5, kind of hinted a little bit more into what is next for the franchise, and they showed that on December they're gonna release a DLC which includes a new mode. I believe, let me just give it to you right here. The new mode is called Hive Busters. No, sorry. The new mode is called something. Hive Busters is basically a squad of 3 who never made an appearance in the campaign, but instead starting the new mode, Escape. It's called Escape. There we go. There is an estimated 3 to 4 hour campaign DLC. They kind of hinted at the beginning. A lot of people, their philosophy was that they didn't want to release any more DLC, like story DLC for Gears of War 5, but apparently they changed their mind because they wanted to. A lot of fan requests wanted to expand the lore, so they kind of gave into that. So it's pretty cool to see. I played all Gears of War up until 4. I haven't played the latest one, but I usually wait for this kind of games to everything, like the DLC comes out, all of it, and including the story DLC, so I can jump in and get everything right from the get-go. It's like waiting for a season on Netflix or anywhere else to just finish, so you can dive in slowly but surely. But like just not slowly but surely, but binge watch it essentially, so I can binge play the game, so I don't have to wait for anything else. That's why even for Smash Brothers, like I haven't actually gotten all the characters myself. I'm waiting for all of them to come out and then I can play them. It's almost like unlocking a new set of characters right away, not getting them trickled in one by one. But that's the way I enjoy to play. Let me know how you enjoy to play for sure. And I think that's everything that we got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me on another session of Daily Sign-In. As always, we come to you live every single weekday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on twitch.tv/It's All Fun and Games. Make sure to let me know what you think about the PS5 being shown only a few weeks before it comes out into the general public. By commenting if you're watching this on YouTube, or by emailing us at twitch.tv. No, sorry. It's all fun and games tv@gmail.com, or you can also just join our community Discord, which is in the description. That's where we go and I post everything that we do there, and we also talk about all the daily gaming events that we get to talk about in this show as well. And I want to get some feedback and also get to know you a little bit more. I recommend that you check out all the other content that we provide there. We have a weekly gaming podcast called Chat and Games, where me and the sexy boys in the business, you kind of dive into more other hardcore gaming topics. He's a very passionate individual. It's a fun time for sure all around. Other than that, make sure to follow us on all the social medias, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. All of them are in the description. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you again on. And with that, we do our daily sign off.